Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Most of you might know this interface. This is the interface of 0303 firmware for the Adam Pluto. I am going to attempt to flash the latest firmware and install my application at the same time. So, the first order of business is we need to go to my repository. We need to follow the links to which we get this Google Drive link. I've already downloaded it, so for the sake of saving some time, here it is to flash the latest Pluto firmware on this device. We would simply copy this and we would paste it in here. Setting up your Pluto for networking and or the USB is outside of the scope of this video, so I'm assuming that you already have your config.txt set up for your Pluto, and then once this is copied, we can eject and then we wait a little bit. So the way to check that the Pluto is set up with the new firmware is to wait for it to appear as a USB device on your computer. So for all intents and purposes, this might take a little while. I am going to proceed with the software setup of my program. So, as per the instructions, it says download the latest release. We click Assets. We click on DATV Simple. This I've also downloaded. We go here. I have already uploaded the firmware, so I'm just going to pretend like I downloaded it to this directory. I'm going to extract it to DATV Simple. Then, as per the instructions on the screen, we are going to open pluto.txt. I usually use Notepad++, but you could use Notepad++. I use code to edit my files. So for the sake of demo, I'm going to call this demo. And then save. And that's the setup requirement for your Pluto. If you have a different IP address, please change it accordingly. Once we have the Pluto device in our computer, we know that the firmware has successfully flashed. Let me just see. Aha, no, I'm being silly. I have to eject the Pluto here. Silly me. Now that, oh dear, did I break it now? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so. I believe I follow the correct procedure. Let's see. Yes, I do believe that is what that is. To check that the new firmware is in fact installed, you can see that this runme.sh has been set up. We don't need to do that, I believe. We can now see that we no longer have a website on our Pluto. When you get this blank page, this is the indication that the beta firmware has successfully loaded. So, now we shall continue with our DATV simple example. Going back to where we extracted it, we set up our Pluto. And now we're going to run the software. It says that it's connected to the broker. You would see that this is your setup call sign. We would need to press the set call button. This sends an instruction to the Pluto to set the call sign that you just set up, so that the MQTT broker has that call sign as the command path for further instructions. is a slight long-winded video, so I did also decide to do this in one take, so please pardon the duration. I shall soon conclude. And we are connected. First order of business is to press the restore button. Once the restore button has been pressed, you shall see that we are now connected to our Pluto. The first step would be to go to Sats and Settings, press Find Devices, select your audio device of choice. Mine is a virtual audio cable and OBS virtual camera. Please also set up the RX parameters if you intend on using Minitune. If you intend on using DBVS GUI, do the same, and if you intend on using the VLC to open to your TS stream as opposed to FF Play, do that too. Here's your audio delay seconds, your keyframe intervals. These don't need to be changed much. This might need to be changed according to your setup. Once this is done for the entire lifetime of the application. You are now welcome to save profiles, click on the spectrum as per normal, and start FFmpeg. And if everything is green, you're good to go. I don't have the amplifier plugged in, but yeah, that's flashing the Pluto firmware and getting the DATV simple up and running in 7 minutes. Have a nice day.